I recently watched the latest season of South Park and I loved it. I've always thought South Park was really good at telling stories, so I started thinking there has to be some kind of technique or strategy they're using because they've been around for over 20 seasons with mostly positive critical acclaim, so they must be doing something right. So I did some research. I came across a documentary called 6 Days to Air, which talks about the process of creating one episode in just 6 days, which is amazing for any kind of show, but especially an animated one. But there's a moment in the documentary where Trey Parker, the co-creator and co-writer of South Park, talks about his writing process.
And I sort of always call it the rule of replacing ands with either buts or therefores. And so it's always like, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. Whenever I can go back in the writing and change that to this happens, therefore this happens, but this happens, whenever you can replace your ands with buts or therefores, it makes for better writing.
After watching that segment, I was hooked. The simple idea of replacing as many ands with buts and therefore to create a more interesting and complex narrative appealed to me, so I started doing some further research, and I came across a book called Hayd'n, We Have a Narrative. It was written by Randy Olson. He was a biologist that turned into a director, and he watched the same documentary as me and wanted to expand on that idea. He ended up naming the method ABT, which is and, but, and therefore method. He refers it as the DNA of a story. Behind every story, you'll find the essence of the ABT method. Let's see how the ABT is applied in one of my favorite episodes, Medicinal Fried Chicken. So Randy and the kids just finished soccer practice, and they're on their way to KFC, but they find out that KFC has been outlawed in all of Colorado and has been replaced with a medicinal dispensary. So Randy goes inside the dispensary to try to obtain marijuana, but is told that he needs a medical marijuana card. Therefore, Randy goes into the doctor's office to try to get a medical card, but is told that he's in good health, and in order to get a medical card, he needs to be sick with a serious illness such as cancer. Therefore, Randy tries to get cancer. By just looking at that example, you can see by introducing the but and therefores how complex and more interesting the story ends up becoming. I just want to mention that I'm not an expert in this field. I'm simply a fan of South Park and how they tell stories. If you want more information about the ABT method, I highly recommend reading Hayd'n, We Have a Narrative by Randy Olson. And I hope you're able to apply this ABT method into your life. Just know this isn't strictly just for screenplays. This can be used for sales pitch, for a general presentation, or a conversation with a friend or significant other. I hope that you were able to get something out of this video. And thank you for watching. I gotta go and watch some South Park. Thank you.